Hello, and welcome to Know Before You Go, talking about the readings for the 14th Sunday in Ordinary Time. I'm Father Scott Steinkerchner, and I just got in from Denver, a road trip to Denver, just got back off the road, and we have a perfect gospel for me, because I'm a wee bit tired. But it's that Gospel of Matthew passage where Jesus says, "Come to me, all you who labor and are burdened, and I will give you rest." Lovely. "Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am meek and humble of heart, and you will find rest for yourselves. For my yoke is easy and my burden light." Of course, a yoke usually binds animals together so they can do something, pull something like a plow or a wheel. And so it's a symbol of burden. It's also used as a symbol tying prisoners together. You yoke them together. Is that what Jesus is talking about? Because he's not making people work like that, do manual labor. Well, already in Jesus' day, it had had a symbol meaning we were yoked to God as God's people. So we need to learn from God. Put on your yoke, Sirach says, and learn what God has to say to you. That seems closer to what Jesus was saying. So he says, though, not put on God's yoke, but take my yoke and learn from me. And why is that not burdensome? Well, he's certainly not like the Pharisees laying heavy burdens on people. Some burdens, though, like John the Baptist, do what is right, not what is wrong. But also that yoke was the word for the cross piece of the cross that Jesus carries to his crucifixion. So is that tied in here as well? Lots of things going on there, lots of things to think about. But I want to unpack it by going to the first reading, which is the prophet Zechariah. And it sets an interesting context because Zechariah is saying, "Rejoice heartily, O daughter Zion, shout for joy, O daughter Jerusalem. See, your king shall come to you, a just saviour is he, meek and riding on an ass, on a colt, the foal of an ass." People of prestige rode a horse. But even more than that, Zechariah is a prophet in the time of returning from the Babylonian exile. Remember, the Babylonians had captured Jerusalem, ransacked everything, destroyed the temple, and carried the people off to Babylon for maybe 60 years or so. But now they were back because the Babylonians have fallen to the Persians. And of course, the Babylonians took over from the Assyrians, who had devastated the northern kingdom. So it had been this series of military conquests with great consequences. And in a military conquest of those days, there's a few things that are very important. A war horse, pulling chariots full of people with longbows, archers, who can devastate a standing army. And so as that technology was used, more successfully, one group after another, one group would take over after another. So Zechariah's prophecy goes on to say, he, the one riding on the foal of an ass, shall banish the chariot from Ephraim and the horse from Jerusalem. The warrior's bow shall be banished, and he shall proclaim peace to the nations, and his dominion shall be from sea to sea, from the river to the ends of the earth. His dominion will not be won by might. He'll banish the chariot and the bow. None of that is might. He won't come riding in like a king on a war horse. He's riding on a little foal of a donkey. But it's that peace that he will bring. And you see that now, don't you? Now that God has brought you back from exile in Babylon. And the once mighty Babylonians have fallen. And the Persians who took over from them, do we need to fear them? No. We need to fear nothing. For our God is, as the gospel says, meek and humble of heart. And he'll give us rest. And it's that kind of leadership that will rule from sea to sea, from the river to the coastlands. That's the real power the prophet Zechariah is talking about. That's the real power that Jesus is talking about. Yoke yourself to that meekness, non-violence, non-force. Then you'll find rest for your soul. Maybe it might lead you like Jesus to your death. But there's worse things than that. And that peace will allow you to rise up even from that real death or any of the pseudo-deaths that we see in between. These are beautiful, hopeful words this Sunday. Let them sink into the places where you need to hear that, where you need some peace and hope in your life, where you need to see that, wow, it appears like things might be getting better. Yes, because God is God. And eventually, it takes a while, but eventually it comes around. And in the end, all manner of things will be well. God bless you.